The name family office gets thrown around in a lot of different contexts. Certainly, the approach that we take is very different, and it's based off of the fact that we created this company for ourselves. So everything that we have and the structures that we have in place, the way that we've designed the service offering, the level of engagement that we have with family members, it was really all built for ourselves. And so the approach that we get to employ today is something that I think a lot of families, if they were to be able to start with the resources and the time and have the runway to be able to put something together, I think a lot of families would build something very similar to what we have today. And we have an interesting approach in that the way that we're structured, I'm actually a client of Johnson Financial Group, as are all of my family members. So we actually all pay the exact same fees into the company that every other family pays. We don't have any difference in economics at all with any families. We don't have any proprietary products. We don't sell anything. We don't have revenue sharing arrangements with other firms. You literally have all these families on the same side of the table. And when we're out there negotiating terms on an investment, we're negotiating those terms on behalf of this entire group. And so one of the advantages to that is there's a larger pool of capital that we're negotiating on behalf of. And that allows us to have a significant advantage over if we were trying to just do that on our own, or if each one of these families was trying to do that on their own. We also view the world a little bit differently than a traditional quote unquote family office that was being offered through a banking platform or
trust company
or yeah, exactly. When we think of the world, we think of kind of two different pieces of the family office. The first is the financial capital, and that's what comes to mind for most people. That involves all of the investment strategies, the asset allocation, the risk management, the tax planning, all of the gifting, asset protection, all of the kind of mechanical pieces of managing wealth are what we would refer to as the financial capital piece. On the other hand, you have what we refer to as the human capital. And the human capital are simply the people that are involved, the family members that are a part of the family. And that is all the family dynamics and the leadership development, the financial education, all of the different softer side of things. And when we think about success, and I think personally about what I'm trying to achieve for my own family, and what the majority of our families are really focused on and have articulated, success is not just the financial capital side of things. It really is more broad than that. We really strive for what we would call a healthy, thriving, fulfilled family. And we think about that in terms of a concept called self-actualization. How can each family member, in the context of the resources and the success that they've had, really discover and pursue and realize their own unique dreams and to create the impact on the world that they were born to have? And that involves all kinds of different things. There is intellectual capital and relational capital, spiritual, reputational, all kinds of different pieces to a family that when you think about what does that thriving family member look like, we really understand and have learned along the way. And we've learned the hard way in some cases, and we've learned from this other group of families that have come together of approaches that families have taken that have really worked, and we've learned what hasn't worked. So we look at kind of that complete picture with really the understanding of how do you identify and reinforce the family culture in a way that is articulating what their North Star is, defining the guiding principles that they have as a family, and then having that financial capital really exist to support the success of the human capital. So for us, in the way that we approach things, it's not a transactional type of model that we have. It's much more of a relational model, and helping each one of the families and the subsequent generations that are involved understand the responsibilities and the opportunities associated with their success is a large part of what we do. And it's different than what you would typically get from a larger institution that is more focused on that transactional side of things. And not that there's anything wrong with that model, it's a very different model. And we've just decided as a family, we were a part of a trust company platform for a while, and we made the decision as a family that we wanted to become independent. And for us and the families that we work with, it's certainly been the right decision.